Assalamu alaikum everybody. In today's video I'm going to be reacting to a video from Noah Kagan, who's one of my favorite entrepreneurs, the founder of AppSumo, and he made a video where he asked 80-year-old millionaires if it was worth it. It kind of reflects today's society and today's pursuit of success and entrepreneurship. And I'm an entrepreneur. I was obsessed with this mindset before accepting Islam, and I think it's one of the most toxic, most destructive ways of thinking you can get into, where you obsess over money and fame and success more than anything else. So let's go and let's see what happens.
Have you ever wondered if all the sacrifices and hard work that are needed to become rich are even worth it? In this video, I'm going to be asking that exact question to retired millionaires to find out how they got rich and if they have any regrets.
How did money improve your life?
So we bought a big house and bought a Corvette. The kids are now taken care of, and now our goal is to spend all of our money before we die.
So your entire life you were hoarding on and taking all that money, bought a house, bought a Corvette, kids, and now you're spending it. And what's crazy about it, you're not even preparing for your final destination, because you've mentioned before I die. Well, that's good. You should actually spend it in charity, but you should not think about death as the end. You should really try to reflect and ask, is there anything after death? Is there anything? Is it possible that something exists beyond this reality? Or is it all just material? Is it all just money, house, and my wife and kids? Is that the purpose of my existence in this world? That's a pretty basic question. Because you can get lost in that wheel of making money, going to work, raising family, dying. But then what was your life about? Well, nobody will remember you in 100 years. Nobody will, there's no point in doing that. So we really have to think about what could be ultimately my guiding light in this life. What would make sense? What would be more purposeful, that would fulfill me and gave me a sense of meaning and purpose in this life? Because otherwise it's pretty empty and kind of like surface level.
Well, I say money can't buy happiness, right? But money can buy things that create happiness. I've got an American Express black card. You can buy a friggin' Rolls Royce with a black card.
He says money can buy things that can buy happiness. And he's actually on point. That's what people are doing. They are looking for happiness, or better say tranquility, because no one can be always happy, but they're looking for things in material possessions. So when I get a car, it's gonna make me happy. However, after 2 months, you're sick of driving that car. I had a car 1 year ago, I bought it, and now I just consider it as part of my life. But it's an amazing thing that it just became normal to me. And that's how this world is programmed. It can never satisfy our lust for things. That's not where happiness comes from. Happiness comes from long-term relationships. Happiness comes from family. Happiness comes from community with a goal, a sacrifice. Happiness comes from love. Happiness comes from worshiping God. Happiness comes from these things which are non-tangible in its nature. They are not consumer in nature. They are not material in nature. And they are higher on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So you're talking about, the hierarchy of needs. You're talking about the lowest needs, whatever you can buy. But that's the lowest level need. That's food, sex, housing, all that stuff. But you can't buy relationships, companionships, family. You can't buy those things to have a good relationship. It's impossible. And then even above that, there's spiritual needs. You can't buy those either. So why would you focus on those lowest level needs?
Don't kid yourself. We're in a consumer society here, and I believe that we should be philanthropic. I believe that we should have safety nets. I believe that every person should have valuable health care and education and so forth. But I also believe that talent outs.
But you're right. You're saying you're in a consumer society here, and that's true. America is the most consumer society. And so if you build a consumer society, people will be kind of twisted, because they'll be trying to fix their problems by short-term solutions, by buying products and services. And it's a fake. Most of the products and services are not designed to help you fix your problems. Most problems in your life, psychological or physical or anything like that, they can be helped with these products, but you have to fix them on your own. You have to take responsibility and not rely on not rely on products, on services to fix your bad life. Like, you gotta fix yourself, man. Stop relying on all these things. And that's just common sense right here. Why would you believe in philanthropic endeavors if it doesn't logically correlate with your core belief? Your core belief would be to make as much money as you can and consume as many products and services as you can in this economy. But you have this need to not just look at yourself, but to contribute to society and to give back. Where does that need come from? Is it logic that is you? It's not. There's no logic in that need. It's not logical to help other people. No, it's actually illogical, because you should be looking at yourself to survive. That's the Darwinian model. You survive, the survivor of the fittest. But you have something within you that tells you, hey, it's not just about you. You should try to look at society and improve it and help other people who are in more problems than you. But what is that? That's something within you that makes you human. That makes you a human being. So why wouldn't we look into that more? Why wouldn't we explore that feeling more? Because that tells us what this life is all about.
How did money improve your life?
Oh, it reduces stress a lot. That was a big worry. And I remember actually on my third space flight, orbiting the Earth one night, looking through the window, kind of taking it easy and thinking, whoa, one more year and I can pay off my college debts.
It's actually true. Money does help with financial stress. I remember when I was broke as no one, I had debt, and it wasn't nice because I was always worried about my next paycheck for rent.
Do you have any regrets? Or would you change anything about your career? And was it worth it?
I regret I didn't spend more time with my kids when they were growing up, because I put a lot of my efforts into the business, trying to grow it as something for them to hold on to and something to be good for the community. But my kids turned out to be great people, so their mother did a great job of raising them. I have no regrets, just looking forward to the future.
What future? Your future is Barzak. It's the grave. And you should be looking forward to that. You should be actually preparing for that. Yeah, when you say you didn't spend time with your family, I agree with that. Like, you gotta make time for your family. It's a priority, because you will regret it. And then they are left with your business, but they don't care about that. Maybe they wanted to spend time with you, but you didn't give it to them. And I don't care about your business. If you're my father, I wanted to have a father. I didn't care about that you're gonna give me some business at the end of your life. Thank you for that, but your time is the currency, not your business. So this is where this obsession can drive you. You just completely disregard all your physical health, all your relationships, everything, and you just focus on the business. And it's a sickness. It's actually toxic. You're pushing away everything from your life and just tunneling vision your own personal ambitions, which is good. First, in some sense, there's a healthy balance there, because I did the same thing. But you need to be able to stop this and breathe out and say, sometimes I'm not caring about business. Sometimes I'm not going to check my email for a day.
It worked out so well for me. My life is so good. I am reluctant to answer any questions about the past and changing it or regretting it, because it's just hard to imagine it working out better.
I mean, this guy is pretty confident that his life was amazing and he lived the best version of his life, but how can you have an amazing life if you don't know your purpose in existence? I don't get it. Maybe on surface, yeah, it's amazing. It's materially amazing. And you have fulfilling family and everything, but what was the purpose of that? What's your purpose? Because you're dying. You're an old man. Because maybe a Buddhist monk who never had anything can claim the same thing. He can say, I lived the best life. And maybe somebody else can say the same thing. Poor woman in Russia can say the same thing, even though she never lived that life. So that's quite subjective. So what is the definition of living a good life? Who defines that? How do you live a good life? What is the steps to live a good life? Is it just about business and family and being successful? Or are there other parts of the equation? Well, obviously this is impossible to answer if we just recognize this world and this reality and this material world, because this doesn't make sense, this world. So you need to have something outside of it. You need to have something which is non-material in nature, which our intuitions are driving us to that. There is something non-material, these relationships, these feelings that we have, and these are the most important things in this life. And so the only thing that could tell us what this life is about, or what is the point of this life, or how do you live a good life, is if there's anything independent, objective. that doesn't have a subjective feelings, and that thing exists. That's God. And so if God, Allah, sends down Quran, sends down all these things, sends down the prophets, Jesus, Moses, everybody, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they tell you what you should achieve in this life, how to live a good life, and where is the success. Because the success is not in this world, because you're gonna die. So how successful were you? At the end you died. Your success cannot be dependent on this life. And so the Quran tells you there's another existence, there's a day of judgment, and you're gonna be held accountable for everything you made. And then you will be, the successful ones will go to Jannah, to everlasting paradise, when there's no sickness, there's no gray hair, there's no toilet, none of that. It's all pure. And that's the success. But if you are unaware of that, then you think you have lived a successful life. I'm not trying to attack you, I'm just giving you my perspective. Of course, you might disagree with it because you're not a Muslim. But if you are, I'm pretty sure you're relating to that successful ones, maybe even the homeless people here, is the biggest success in Jannah, in the afterlife. Because the more tests you get in this world, the bigger your reward. And so subhanAllah, this way of thinking is pretty toxic, to just look at what I have here, that's making me successful. Even though my body is dying out, I'm dying, I'm old. How successful are you? What? Only materially, yes, you might be, but there's many layers to your personality which you have,
I don't have any regrets. Money is not the metric that I use for success.
This astronaut is the most smartest one out of them all, and he has the least amount of money. That's it. That's my reaction. Hopefully it was interesting. Leave me some comments below. I'm not hating these guys. I had this mindset for 5 years. I know how these people think. And I'm an entrepreneur. I love doing business, doing sales, doing marketing. But I also understand this is not my purpose in this world. So thank you so much. What do you guys think about this? What is success? What is success? What do you think is success? If success is only bound to material things, why do successful people kill themselves? Try to realize that you will die. Your mortality is important. You won't escape death. Every soul shall taste death, it says in the Quran. So come to grips with that and figure out, all right, now I know I'm gonna die for sure. I'm not gonna escape. Now, how do I prepare myself for it? What is my final destination? Where am I going afterwards? Is it really just nothing? Is it really just blank and I get to leave? Then what was the point of this? And what about the people who rape, kill, and pillage, and it doesn't matter? Why are we even behaving in a moral, why do we have morality in our society if there's no point into it? Look into that. Assalamu alaikum. This is Yana, and subscribe.